So I wanted to talk about technological innovation and just talk a little bit about what it is. And I think it's really cool, and sort of give you a sense of what I think it is after studying the area a fair bit. Um, and I've been a professor of it for years now, and studied the area since probably 2003, so like 20 years at this moment. And as well as having my own projects, building my own innovation, the reciprocity project. And I just want to give you a sense of where it is. So, the technical definition is products or services, even administrative efforts that solve a problem for some use. And usually, a lot of people think about innovations as commercially viable innovations, so that they actually make some money, I guess, would be the thing. That's one way to commercially viable. But I think of it as very broadly, in the sense it doesn't necessarily have to be commercially viable in the sense that it makes money, but serving some sort of use, because life is not just about money and finances and all that kind of stuff. It's an important part, a substantially important part of it. But we have a lot of social ventures that are available. We have a lot of not for profits, and a lot of just different things. It's a lot more complicated world than just focusing on sort of profitability, which I think is the downfall of a lot of innovation research, is focused on that sort of commercial hardcore commercial sense. But the world is big and broad, and so that's why I kind of like to define it a little bit more loosely. And what ends up happening, in a sort of really important part of the whole literature, massive theme within it, or central theme within it, is the accumulation of knowledge that you get as you go and sort of solve these particular problems for our own individual and organizational needs that we have. And that knowledge, whether it's being, little bits of knowledge, something that's kind of incremental, or something that is more radical, that's like very a large chunk of knowledge. I mean, that all kind of sits in between, but what we're looking at is a sort of accumulation, this corpus of knowledge. And a lot of actually the innovation literature studies that sort of corpus of knowledge, and we assume that it's important for the development of innovation. So I think, long story short, is a lot of people assume that innovation is about doing these like big giant things and creating the next Dropbox and creating the next, I don't know, Facebook, creating some new remarkable innovation that's really flashy, and some new technology that's really flashy, that we all recognize. But it's really a lot more subtler than that. And I am of the opinion it's as subtle as recognizing it in one person. It's really hard. So to give you an example of this, let's say that you are a consultant, and you have a very large client. Say your client is Bill Gates, and it's just you and Bill Gates, and it's your job to make his life a lot more easier. And so you might come up with this sort of breakthrough idea, where you come up with some new administrative technique, some new calendar style for him, and all of a sudden you gained him 25% more time. Well, for Bill Gates, that would be a miraculous thing, and you made a crap ton of money for Bill Gates, and as well as sort of reduce the amount of workload that he has to do, so he's going to be willing to pay you a lot. Um, so it doesn't necessarily have to be this big thing that everybody recognizes, and it's like, just the end all and be all, but it could be something really subtle, and it could just make your life easier. Now, that's a dramatic version. Now, we all are trying to do things for other people, and sometimes you do something for your mom, and or your dad, and then you do something that's like make their day a little bit more subtly better, so it's a lot more easier. Or you even do it for yourself, and you create this new thing, um, and it's viable. Now there's kind of I'm stumbling here because I'm well aware that invention is sometimes sort of grouped in there, but invention is sort of the one component of it. The innovation component is usually is the sort of talking about the commercial sense where there's some larger audience that you're talking about, so you're serving other people and hopefully making it profitable or whatever. So what I'm getting at is it's very much about sort of solving problems, acquiring knowledge, and hopefully creating some sort of economic value, for more than just yourself. And that's kind of what we're looking at. So, I think though is where I'm leaning at this moment in terms of studying this kind of stuff is you could kind of tell that I'm a lot more practical, and I think we should get a lot more practical with innovation, and I think we should get a lot more practical with how we study it, recommendations we give for students, other innovators and all those kind of folks. So we should really need to get a lot more practical in the sense that we should just do things that are really, focus on doing things that are tiny and blowing up those tiny things, making it a little bigger instead of focusing on, let's go make the next Facebook, which I think is great, but that only captures a really small, tiny group of individuals. That is Silicon Valley, that are doing some really, unusual things compared to, the bigger, broader sense of things, right? And I am of the opinion that we should really be asking the question is like, how can we be everyday innovators? Me living in Florida and Tallahassee, or somebody that's living in Bangladesh, or somebody that's living in, I don't know, some small obscure spot in Brazil, some tiny town in Brazil. We should be questioning and asking, how are those people innovators, and what are they doing that's innovative and sort of making life a little bit better for everybody around them. And we should be really identifying those, and that is a really important part of life, right? So instead of so my recommendation for anybody that's listening to this that's interested in doing something innovative is look around your life. Look around what you do on a daily basis. Now, there's two ways to do this. Look to see what you do on a regular basis, but also look to see what irritates the bejeebus out of you that you avoid doing. And, really think about how can you tackle that problem, right? So, or tackle the thing that is limiting what you would love to do on a daily basis. And we all have those things. We all have those irritations. Most of us just never do anything about it. And being that person that addresses that thing and says, hey, this is a real issue, that's hard. And it takes a lot more than just being a smart person to recognize that. It takes a tremendous amount of stamina. It takes people making fun of you. It takes most people saying that what you're doing is stupid, but you do it anyways. All of those things, that sort of entrepreneurial component of it that some people say is like delirious, or delusional. And you need to have some of that delusion to do some of these things because, you know, other people do see it and other people do say, hey, I ain't going to do that thing. That thing's stupid. That's going to waste all my time. But you need to be the one person that, of those 100 or 1,000 people or 10,000 people that see this and, recognize it. It's not just about recognizing, but then you're like, I wonder if I could do something about it. and you actually pursue it and have everybody else make fun of you and everybody else tell you that the thing that you're doing is stupid. And the really what it means. So what's going to happen when that happens is that, yes, everybody's going to say you're stupid. Um, and so there's two things that are going to happen, right? You're gonna do it, and the one, you're going to be like the 10,000 other people, and you realize, oh man, this doesn't work. But then you try it, you try this whole thing, and then you're the one person that identifies, hey, wait a minute, this thing is actually okay. This is working, and I'm getting a little progress. And so here's the thing, though. This is the thing that sort of kills innovation, is that you might get a little bit of progress, and that's all you should get. It's just like this tiny, tiny amount of progress when you pursue something. Is sort of expectation of that. If you expect more, you're going to be crushed. But expect a little tiny progress when you do that thing, and if that happens, then you should keep pursuing it. That means you're actually on to something, and being that person that sort of identifies that and is crazy enough to keep pursuing it, I think it's important. But everybody else, it's going to struggle with that. You might be 1,000 people might try this thing and they realize, oh man, it's not for me. But you're the one weird, wacky person that keeps sort of pursuing it and realizing it's sort of part of the fun is that sort of journey towards doing something that's crazy. And it's crazy. Like, you're nuts to be doing something like that. You truly are doing, you're kind of nutty to do something that's innovative, but every once in a while you'll stumble into something that does pay off. But it's hard to know what that is and when that's going to be. It's not clear, but you just simply have to do it anyways, because that's the thing that you want to do. And then you just keep doing it and be that one wacky person. There's something about being that one wacky person that pursues something for 30 years and it finally clicks after 30 years. That is remarkable. But at the same time, downright stupid. That's a lot of resources that you've wasted after 30 years, and then you die. That is life. And so that's very much for life. That's what you're gonna do. Is a lot of people are gonna pursue something for 30 years, get nowhere, and then die. Um, that's really, honestly, that's what happens. But every once in a while, you do get that thing that sort of clicks, and every once in a while you do live past 30 years, and it's okay. So what I'm getting at is, it's not about knowledge and these breakthrough ideas and all this kind of stuff, but it's more about, hey, do you have the courage to pursue this thing? Are you okay with pursuing it? And then if you pursue it, how the heck do you make it so it doesn't feel like it's scary and daunting and that you're doing something that's stupid? How do you do it so it's just like your everyday life and you're just enjoying it? And it's your thing, it's your goofy thing, right? Just like how some people like to golf or some people like to shop. Well, you're that one goofy person that likes to do this sort of innovative stuff. And everybody thinks, oh man, that person is dumb. But you're that person. And every once in a while, it's going to click and things are going to work. And you're going to be okay with that. For yeah, a lot of people, it's never going to click. You're just that weirdo, whacked out person, and you're okay with that. And that's where you got to be with it, is just be at that perfect moment when you're just okay with who you are, with what you're doing, and pursue those wacky ideas. I think that those are good. It's good for society. It's a little wasteful for you, but so is playing golf. That's a lot of waste too. So that's all I wanted to say, is go do wacky things, have fun, enjoy it. Maybe you'll stumble across something that's innovative every once in a while. All right, take care, and have a wonderful day. Give me a comment whether you like this one or not.